In today's quick tip, though, I just want to show you a couple of different ways that you can actually colour your sessions and organise your session in Pro Tools. With Pro Tools, there's three main ways that tracks can be coloured. I've just set it up to the default setting when you open up Pro Tools for the first time, which is Pro Tools automatically assigns track colours it alternates it, so there's obviously quite a lot of high contrast and you never really get lost in a session. It looks a bit like a rainbow. I find it quite annoying and I'm not a massive fan of it. So this is the default setting for Pro Tools. So it comes up, and if we go into preferences in Pro Tools, which is in the setup menu, it comes up in display, and we have tracks and MIDI channels, and I got the same for the clip coding as well. The other way that we have it is we can look at track type and track color. As I press OK, you'll notice that these colors will change a little bit. So we press OK. All audio tracks will be blue. I've got a couple of master faders, which is always red, and then we've also got, if we just go on the mix view, I've got quite a few auxes that you can see, which are like this olive green. And I'm just going to bring in a couple of MIDI tracks and instrument tracks as well. Right, so we've got a MIDI track, Shift Command then let's go to instrument track. And just to show you the different colors as well. So when you're in track type, MIDIs will always be purple and instruments will always be a browny color. So VCA master as well, yeah, they just come up as a blue, like a darker blue than the audio. So that's another way of doing it. And I used to be on this, and I used to quite like going through and changing all the tracks. So if I change these colors now, window, color palette, and I went tracks, I went green, the track type would actually, the track clip color would actually follow whatever track color you made this. I'm just going to press undo. So that's another thing, you can actually go through and manually change the colors. But the issue that sometimes happens is with regards to groups, is like you can enable and disable groups with Shift Command and G. What this can do then is, like, because I've got edits on the drums, you can see that, like, if I bring edits back up, enable groups back, you'll see that because the edits are there, you can't visually see if groups are enabled or disabled. Now the third setting that is probably like the other one that I quite use often now is actually the groups. So what this means is you've got the tracks and the groups are all the same color as whatever the group is. So if I change D, these should all change automatically. So O is now the yellows. And I got rack as well. So O is like overheads, rack is B, snares purple. These are normally just actual default groups. And so you see now, it's like I can see easily what clips have been grouped, what tracks have been grouped, so it's easier. And if I press Shift Command and G, it actually makes everything white, so you can actually see that there's nothing grouped. The shortcut to actually enable disable groups is actually go into the mix window, and the icon here actually means that the groups are actually shortcuts. Just zoom in there for a second. You can see all these letters here that actually relate to the shortcut. So kick is K. If I press K, press S, and I'm normally on this view. Just put D back on, just so I can. It's just easy for me to visually see what groups are enabled, what edit groups are working. But because of the way Pro Tools is, the way you can customize it, and the way people work differently. I know the way I work is completely different to other people, so it's easy enough to change and adjust and adapt. Okay, so that's basically the three displays that are generally used in Pro Tools most of the time. Tracks and MIDIs are pretty good if you want to easily distinguish which channel is which, because everything's a rainbow. Track type is, I suppose it's more useful on the mixer if you want to see where your auxes are, where the master faders are, where the audio channels and MIDI channels are for mixing. It's like an easy one because they're all specified a certain color. Groups are probably more useful. Group viewing is probably more useful for when you're looking at edits and probably mixing a little bit. If you're riding faders together, or if you're editing things like drums, having this view sometimes is really good to see that, okay, I know all the drums are grouped together because there's a color on the session, and if not, everything's white. As always, give me if you haven't subscribed, if you do like the videos, give me a like and a subscribe. I'd love to hear from you as well about anything that you guys want to hear. I've put a request form in the description of the video, so if there's anything you want me to look at, I've started working on a couple of videos for other people. Let me know in the comments, and I would be happy to have a discussion with people about stuff. And if you want to send me anything to look at, I'd be more than happy to do that in some spare time that I have around other sessions. But as always, thanks very much for watching, and hopefully I can see you all again very soon.